Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, What's New in Bluebeam Revu 20. Just a little housekeeping before we get started. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the question box in your GoToWebinar control panel, not in the chat panel. Also, a recorded version of this webinar will be available on our website and YouTube channel within a couple of days. You'll receive an email with the link when it's available. Before we jump in to the webinar, I want to introduce Microdesk to you all. Microdesk was founded in 1994 as an Autodesk reseller with a simple mission: to assist architecture, engineering, construction, owners, and GIS firms with improving workflows and integrating project delivery technologies. 25 years later, and that mission still holds true. Microdesk is a well-established AECO consulting firm with 13 offices in the US and UK. We have over 230 AECO consultants, solution specialists, and software developers that can help in all sectors, all disciplines, and all stages. Some of the hottest topics in the AECO world are globalization, urbanization, and sustainability. Urbanization studies suggest that the US will build 114 cities, the size of Boston, in the next 30 years. Here at Microdesk, we can help to make sure you are prepared to meet these demands. We use software from industry leaders and combine it with our vision and passion for sustainability to meet the demands of urbanization. Our team of industry expert consultants are redefining project delivery and asset management. We partner with world leaders such as Autodesk and IBM to utilize innovative technologies and methodologies to empower sustainable design and overcome local challenges. Our vision is to reduce the environmental impact of urbanization by helping the AECO industry to design, construct, and operate better projects more efficiently by leveraging the full potential of BIM, VDC, and asset management. We're committed to helping clients realize the business benefits of BIM quickly and economically by facilitating the use of innovative technologies and processes. Whether it's streamlining your design, construction, or operations, our consulting team is the nation's largest and most experienced group of AECO technology consulting professionals. Microdesk clients represent some of the nation's largest and most respected organizations and public agencies, including the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, Denver Airport, Robert A.M. Stern, and Columbia University, among many others. To help support the industry with these demands of urbanization, we provide full-service consulting. This includes building information modeling services, enterprise strategy and workflow assessments, technology management, mentoring and support, application development, and much, much more. Now, Microdesk Civil Solutions Specialist Michael Gonzalez will jump in to take you through today's webinar. Thank you.
Hi, so we're going to go over a little bit about Bluebeam itself. Sorry about that. There we go. A little bit about Bluebeam itself. We're going to check out what's new in 2020, and I'll show you guys those things in action, and then I'll show you some stories from some beta testers that had good experiences from the new additions. Right. So Bluebeam itself, it's a global technology company that empowers people to advance the way the world is built. Bluebeam Revu, their flagship solution, helps teams simplify complex processes and collaborate in real time to finish projects on schedule and under budget. Bluebeam takes a customer-centric approach to product development, working closely with industry partners to develop simple and smart solutions to the problems that save them time and money. And so over 1.9 million users across 130 countries rely on Bluebeam solutions to help them maximize productivity, improve product predictability, and minimize risk. And their goal is to help you do the same. All right, so let me introduce you to Bluebeam Revu, the project efficiency and collaboration solution built for the AEC. Revu helps AEC professionals increase accuracy, reduce costs, and minimize risk with features that enable a variety of processes during design and construction. All right, so in regards to collaboration and communication and task efficiency. All right, so the first thing that we're going to go over is the improvements to Bluebeam Studio, and I'll discuss them first and then I'll go into them. So what's happened is that they've improved the invites, how you invite people into a Bluebeam Studio session or project. So they've improved the user and content management capabilities, right? As well as a couple additions to making markups better. All right. So there's improvements to markups themselves, as well as to the markups list and how we use it. All right. So I'm just going to quickly demonstrate some of these changes. And then you guys can ask some questions, and then it shouldn't take too long. All right. So there's been 4 key changes that I'm going to go over. All right. And the first one I'm going to discuss is the changes to the studio. All right, so I'm gonna sign in real quick. Okay, so the first thing you might notice in my studio pane is that I have an additional couple different tabs here, as opposed to just the sessions that you're a part of. And if you're not familiar with Bluebeam sessions, it's really cool. You can everyone join in at the same time and collaborate at the same time on the same PDF documents, and it tracks it and does all this cool stuff. But so what's new is that you have these 2 tabs, joined and not joined, whereas before you would only have the ones that you've joined, right? So you could be invited to a session and not have looked in your email, but if you have a Bluebeam account, you'll see that you have not joined, right? One of the main things that's happened here is that we're going to make a new session, right? I'm going to add the open file. So I'm making a brand new Bluebeam Studio session here, right? And now here is one of the new improvements. And one of the improvements is that, we get this, first of all, we get this nice little dialog box that pops up and makes it easier for us to manage how we invite people. All right, so first thing you can do is use your address book. That's your Outlook address book, right? And just add whoever you want to right there, click, click, click. So if you've already made a different session or if you've made groups within here and then you want to invite more people, you can actually add emails from a group, right? So you can actually create different groups and then select them and then add people specifically from those groups, right? Invite them. Or you can type or paste emails. Now this is actually the biggest one. Let me open up just an email here, right? So you know how in Outlook, you select an email or you copy it, right? You get all that weird formatting. So you can actually do that still. You can just copy and paste either directly from Outlook, or if you had a spreadsheet with a bunch of emails, right? You can easily just copy and paste those emails without having to reformat them, right? So it'll only take the emails and remove extra characters, right? So see how it removed all those extra characters. Right, so and it kind of sorts it by the domain, right? So you can and then you can add more emails, right? So it's really neat, time-saving feature where you don't have to go and clean up all the syntax. So just so you can invite people, and it sends out an email. And a cool thing too is that you can email people who don't already have a Bluebeam account. So you can, and then they can set up their Bluebeam account through the email. So it's a bit time-saving, right? So you don't have to wait for people to join Bluebeam before you invite them, right? So it's all just kind of a bit more seamless. All right. So that's the first thing. Just gonna leave that session. So that's the first improvement. That's the improvement to the Bluebeam Studio. It's the invites. It's really going to save a lot of time and hassle. The next thing I want to go over is improvements to markups, well, actually to the whole functionality of the program, in that a lot of times people have trouble finding things, right? If they're not, especially if they're not familiar with the latest versions. You know, if you were in Bluebeam 2017 and you were trying to find something, right? Because it's a different UI than from 2017. So you might find yourself a little bit lost, but they've actually added this neat feature under the Help pull-down menu, find tools and commands. So you might not know where something is. Maybe you don't have the panes shown. Maybe you don't know what the panes are, right? So say like hyperlink, right? So you just type in any tool or command and it'll take you right to it. You don't need to futz around trying to look for it in any of the pull downs or anything like that. If you just kind of know what you're looking for, right? It'll take you right to it, right? So that's under the Help pull down, find tools and commands. Right, so that's very, very helpful feature. All right. Next up is a couple improvements to markups themselves. All right, so I'm going to go under here and let me try a different page just for fun. Yep. So to any of the text kind of text box, so you know this will work for just a regular text box, a Cloud Plus or a call out, right? So I'll do a Cloud Plus first, right? Notice that here we have in our properties toolbar for the markup, right? Up top here, we have different shapes that you can assign, and then we have this auto size text box. These are new. They used to be kind of right-click functions, but now they're up top here, and it makes it a lot easier for everyone. So let me just kind of demonstrate what that means. Right. So let me make that text a lot bigger. My apologies. Right. So with the text box, right, I can change the shape of it. Right, so I can get a little hexagon, which is new. The hexagon is new. So there might be some call outs or whatever that you'd like to make that are specifically using these sorts of shapes, right? And so you can see, okay, well, earlier you'd have to like kind of eyeball it, but now you can auto size your text box, right? So it kind of fits wherever you need it to. Yeah. So we can go ahead and show you that again with the other ones, right? So markup, I'll do so that was a Cloud Plus, and you just do a call out, right? Same idea. Right. Very easy. Right. Let's move around, do what you got to do. Right. And then additionally, just with the regular text box. Right. All right, so Again, we can auto size it. Again, we can give it a shape, whatever shape we require for this. Right? All right. So that's one of the neat things that's happened in the latest version is that you can, for all of these text boxy type things, right? So the regular text box, the Cloud Plus, and the call out, you can choose just from your markup toolbar the different shape for that text box, and you can auto size it with one click. Right, very handy. Additionally, there's been one more thing added to this version, and that's if I right click on a text box, I can add a leader, which is nice. But the really nice thing about this is I can add multiple leaders, right? So that's been a request for quite a while, because if you have one piece of text that points to multiple things, right? It's kind of messy to continually add more and more of the same call out, whereas now you can just add additional leaders, right? And you can delete a leader, right? So as long as you click on the leader itself, you can delete the individual leader. And that's true of not just a text box, right? That's true of a call out or a right? So any of these guys, I can add a leader, right? Which just really kind of cleans up your markups. All right, so it's very, very handy thing to have. All right, so that was the studio invites. We went over the find tools and commands. Right, there's been this improvement to the markups, right? So you can add the text box, auto size it right from the toolbar, and add and remove leaders to any of these text boxy sorts of markups. Right. The final thing that I'm going to go over is in your markups list. Right. There's been some improvements to the filtering. Right. So we can actually save some filters that you can reuse over and over again. And so, you know, so then when we export our summary, you're not going to see, you know, just full of everything that you don't want, right? So let's say, for example, I only want to see markups from the architect, engineer, or contractor for 50% design, right? So I can make a filter for that, right? So let me go ahead and turn on my filter, and I'm going to filter under my subject for a contractor, engineer, and architect, right? And I'm also going to filter for the layer of 50%. Right? And now that I've made this filter, I can save it, right? And this is the new feature. I could save this filter, right? So right, so I don't have to keep on creating it. I can always just go ahead and choose one of my saved filters, right? So I got to have a variety of different filters and just kind of go through them, and that'll save me a bunch of time in regards to what I'm trying to show or not show. Right? And that's reflected in your summaries, right? In your filter and sort, right? So you can just kind of choose additionally what you want to add or not add, but this kind of cleans up your reports, cleans up what you're looking at, and allows you to just kind of get back to and reuse the same filters if you're doing things over and over again, right? So that's basically the concept of what's been added to Review 2020, or Review 20, is again, studio invites have been improved, right? The joined, not joined, tabs, and then the improvements to the how you actually invite people with their email addresses. The help, find, tools, and commands, the improvements to the markups themselves, and improvements to the markups list. Okay. So there's been some really good feedback in this regard. So one user said that Studio Invites is a great addition. We've had issues in the past where some users' invites were going to their spam email or they would look over the email completely, and the new feature is very helpful. Right? It's a very time-saving feature. Right? Right. So when you're able to filter, it's very useful for exporting and submitting to clients. Yeah, lots of positive feedback from that. Yeah, and having the leader lines come out of one or more sides is extremely helpful. As I mentioned, it just really cleans up your drawings a lot, And the find tool, especially for for new users, makes it a lot easier. And if you know what you're trying to do but you can't find it, it's really just a really good time saver. You don't have to bother anyone. You can just type it in. All right. And these are some of our upcoming webinars for anyone interested. All right, I'll leave that up for a second. And yeah, it's available now. All right, and I guess at this point we'll open it up for questions. Can Studio be used offline? Yes, it can be. So long as you like a studio session has been started or a studio project, you can log off, and then when you log back in, everything will sync back up. So yeah, so you can sync it while you're working offline. That's not a problem. There will be a recording. Oh, there's a lot more questions. Okay, let me see here. Okay, let me go through these. Do Outlook distribution lists now work? Now, I think if you've made your address book work like that, yeah, it should be fine. It should be a hotkey. Yeah, I wonder actually, you might be able to change in your preferences. Let's see if we can add that as a hotkey. I'm not sure that you can, but it's always worth keyboard shortcuts. Now, let's see. Not sure that it's actually a command. Yeah, I'm not sure you can add that as a hotkey. That's not a bad idea, but I'm not sure it's available. Okay. So there haven't been any improvements on sets in this version. Pretty much the same as the previous couple versions. Yeah, so nothing really new for the last couple versions of Revu in regards to sets. Let's see. We have not deployed Bluebeam just yet. Fundamentals of getting started. All right, so there's quite a few things in regards to, so if you haven't like opened the program yet, I mean, it's both a PDF viewer, a markup tool, and then you can also do measurements, which is really neat, as well as this collaborative sessions and projects. Can I go over some of the fundamentals of getting started? So in regard to, and this is to Carrie Peck, really it depends on what you're trying to accomplish, right? So one of the best things about Bluebeam in regards to the markups is that you have the markups list that's very sortable. You can have custom columns and do all sorts of neat things like that. But you can also preset profiles. So you have pre-made profiles that show, like they come preset with particular custom columns or column formats for your markups list, as well as how you organize all these side panes. So these are just additional things like thumbnails and bookmarks and things like that. And another really neat thing is that you can have pre-made sets of markups, right, that have different properties preset that you can actually exchange back and forth amongst different users, and they get loaded up, and they could use the tools that you pre-made, right? So there's like a lot of different options in that regard, and a lot of versatility and specificity that you can apply by using those tool chests. Lots of good things in regards to measurements. So I guess it really depends in terms of like what's a good starting point, is understanding how to leverage profiles, the tool chest, the markups list, and the measurement tools. And that's probably a good place to get started, those 4 functions. So that's a good question. Can markup columns settings be changed after? So they're pretty much set when you create the session. So yeah, you're going to want to set your markups list columns, you know, to exactly what you want them to be for the studio sessions. Because once they're set by the creator of the session, and they hold throughout. Okay, I think that looks like the majority of the questions. Melissa?
Hi, yes, I can take it away. So thank you all for joining this webinar. Again, a recording will be sent out shortly after. You can also go to our website under resources and webinars on demand to view this and more recordings related to Bluebeam as you expand your understanding of this powerful platform. Thank you everyone for joining, and we'll talk to you all again soon.